One of the things that we hear most often from clients and potential clients about development efforts is we've tried it before and it didn't work, or it didn't work as well as we had hoped it would. So I thought it would be helpful to share three of the biggest mistakes or reasons that we see development efforts fall short so that you can avoid these when you are really thinking about investing into your people. The first one is development that lacks a clear goal. So the good news is that I think the message has gotten out that developing people, training, coaching, all of those things have added benefits of making people feel really cared for and supported in the workplace. It boosts engagement. It increases your retention rates. We've definitely gotten the word out about that. But development efforts that don't have a clear goal other than to get those additional benefits really will struggle from a lack of clarity on the front end. So you need a goal that is, we need these 10 leaders to be promotion ready in the next 12 months, or we need this person to be able to achieve this operational challenge over the next 12 months. You need a really clear goal for your development efforts, whether you're doing those internally and managing them on your own, or whether you're working with somebody on the outside to support those efforts. You've got to get clear on the goal. Otherwise, you won't be able to deliver because you really won't know what you're aiming at on the front end. The second mistake that we see organizations make when it comes to development efforts is really failing to take into account the context in which they take place. And this happens in one of two main ways. The first one is that organizations often fail to take a good inventory of the other things that people have on their plate, the other operational challenges, the big initiatives that they're responsible for. Development is slow, time-consuming work. That's true. And if you have a particularly frenzied leader, if you have an organization that is stressed beyond its capacity, it frankly just may not be the right time to undertake it, particularly a new development effort, because there's just not going to be the time and extra bandwidth to devote to that. The other place we see context really creep in is when a development effort works to build a skill that a group of leaders or even an individual leader doesn't have the ability to practice. So a perfect example would be training a group of folks who don't actually have a team on skills like delegation or feedback. When they don't have the chance to practice that, much better to work on the leadership skills they need to build internally so that they can be ready to take that to the next level. The final big mistake that we see folks make with their development efforts is really that they come too late, right? These are the people who say, we're about to promote 6 new leaders next month. We need to develop them and get them ready. Again, development takes time. It takes time for us to change and grow and adopt new habits as human beings. This also shows up on the individual side where people will kind of watch a leader flounder for a long period of time before they call in additional support for that person. So development efforts that come too late really struggle to be effective just because they're under such a pressure cooker of time, both for the person or people who are involved and for the person who's providing or facilitating those development efforts. So if you have looked back in the past and said, hey, why didn't we get as much out of this as we thought we were going to or as we needed to? See if they were missing, if those efforts were missing one of these key components: a lack of clarity and goals on the front end, a misunderstanding of the context in which development was taking place, and maybe running the risk of starting a little bit too late. How would it have been different if you had started earlier? Try that out. It's really important that your development efforts deliver effectively and efficiently on the promises that are made. And these are some of the best ways that you can make sure that that happens.